Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the August 26th meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. I do have a prayer this morning. It's actually it's out of Proverbs 22, 2 through 4. The rich and the poor have this in common. The Lord made them both. A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. True humility and fear of the Lord lead to riches, honor, and a long life. Amen. And I have the dog from the kennel this morning. Hi, baby. She's available now, right? Yeah. We have a treat here today. We have an American Bulldog. She's actually albino. She's really cute, got a great personality. She's been out at the fair all week. She was great in the car, good car rider. Makes somebody a wonderful companion. So if you're interested, come down to the dog kennel. She is available right now if somebody doesn't take her from the fair today. So check us out on Facebook. We got, how many dogs? 32. We're full, so we need your help. So adopt before you shop. Thanks. Madam Clerk.
Under Resolutions Number 1, Investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
No advances, no repayments, requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Travel.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Mr. Cortez.
Madam President, that sounds so good,
It
doesn't
does, doesn't it?
it? I do have
We'll
a,
say that about Hillary someday.
Yeah.
I do have a few personnel actions, potential hires at Job and Family Services and at Golden Acres. I really like to discuss those with the board, ongoing labor negotiations and discussions with the Teamsters, potential sale and purchase of real estate, and we still have pending legal matters that we may want to discuss, I'm not sure. All of those topics are allowable under the Sunshine Law for executive session discussion, so I'd ask at the conclusion of a regular board meeting, we go into executive session and we talk about those items that I've outlined. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approve the minutes of August 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Authorize the vacation view and hearing of Garford Road, Carlisle Township, view to be on Tuesday, September 26th at 9:30, and the hearing will be held Tuesday, October 6th at 9:30.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Just clarification, that's September 22nd or September 26th? I think you
September
said
22nd
22nd,
at
okay.
9:30. Yeah, it's a Tuesday. 22nd. Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Approve and enter in a lease agreement with General Health District for 3,914 square feet of finished office space at 9890 Murray Ridge Road, Elyria, in the amount of $24,658.20 effective retroactive to May 1st, 2015 through April 30th, 2017, with the option to renew additional 24 months after review of square footage and cost.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under Community Development, award various contracts for homeowners to receive grant assistance for CHIP PY14 home repair activity and contains contingency for any unforeseen change orders and will be paid from the CHIP Home Repair and Ohio Housing Trust Fund account. 1 KMU Trucking and Excavating, Avon, in the amount of $6,462 for Alfred and Sue Coy at 155 Duff Drive, Avon Lake, for separation of storm sanitary lateral. This project was sent out to bid 3 times. First and only bid was rejected due to insufficient bids. The second invitation to bid was sent 13 contractors and only bid 1 received, which was 10% over the estimate. Third invitation was sent to 13 and 1 bid received, this being the most responsive. JD Indoor Comfort Sheffield, the amount of $6,397.42 for Dorothy Preve at 4875 Northwood Drive, Sheffield Lake, to install a furnace and water line. 11 invitations were sent out, 1 received, this being the most responsive. Modern Roofing at 6780 Park Gate, 7 Hills, in the amount of $9,777 for Earling Tisdale at 105 East Hamilton Street, Overland, to install a roof, gutters, and downspouts. 17 invitations were sent, 2 bids received, this being the most responsive, and 1 bid was incomplete. J.A. Kilby Enterprises, North Ridgeville, in the amount of $7,665 for Mark and Linda Taylor at 689 Irving Park Boulevard, Sheffield Lake, to install a roof, gutters, downspouts, and fascia repair. 5 invitations to bid were sent, 2 were received, this being the most responsive.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I just, I want to commend Community Development for making a strong effort to reach out to potential vendors to bid on this, or contractors to bid on it. And, I guess it must be because of the amount of the project maybe isn't big enough for folks to be working on. It's just, and, I know there's a shortage of contractors. You talk to the builders, and the home builders tell you it takes a lot longer to build the homes. A lot of the contractors left during the recession. But just so the public knows, we are making a strong effort to get individuals to have an opportunity to get work and work on these projects and bid on these projects. And when you're sending out to 11, 13 people, whatever it may be, and only 1 comes back, we certainly have made a strong effort to try to provide work for businesses in this community.
And they're keeping it within our amounts also, so
Right.
that's the important part, even though there's fewer bidders. And again, there's just not enough companies out there currently
Right.
to bid on the projects. The ones that are busy.
Well, 2 things. Actually, it indicates that the economy is improving for some of those people, although the stock market wouldn't suggest that recently, but businesses are busy. A trained and qualified workforce is hard to come by when they've been on layup for a number of years. And lastly, I just want to let you know that I'm working with Don on changing one of the procedures that we have submitted our plan to the state with regard to the amount of invitations to bid. The last one that you'll see there had, at least it had 2 quotes, but only 5 invitations to bid. I was concerned with that because we send out so many more, and that one caught my attention. Homeowners have the ability to strike people off the list of potential bidders, and I don't like going from 13 or 15 all the way down to 5. I want to remove that requirement. These are public funds. The homeowner is eligible and wants to access these public funds. We should show a really wide net on who gets to bid on the work. I'm going to submit information to the state asking that we modify the plan so that the homeowners don't have an option to withdraw all those names for potential consideration for work. I just don't think that's right. It's in our plan. It hasn't been a problem before, but this one really, you can see it was narrowed down to just 5. That's not a big enough pool in my mind because the homeowner struck all the other names.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under Job and Family, authorized purchase service agreement with Vocational Guidance Services, Elaria, in the amount of $119,602.04 for the work program for fiscal year 16, effective October 1st, 2015 through September 30th, 2016, and authorized director to execute amendment for changes in programming content and increased value on behalf of the board with prosecutor's approval as to form.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Authorized purchase service agreement with Goodwill Industries of Lorain County, Lorain, in the amount of $94,693 for training, employment, and work experience for TANF participants for fiscal year 16, effective October 1st, 2015 through September 30th, 2016, and authorized director to execute and amend for changes in program content and increased value on behalf of the Board of Prosecutors approval as to form.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Authorize various purchase service agreements with vendors for Title 20 Social Service Block Grant funded services for fiscal year 16, effective October 1st, 2015 through September 30th, 2016, and authorize director to execute and amend for changes in programming content and increase value on behalf of the Board with prosecutors' approval as to form. 1, Fraternal Healthcare LLC Lakewood for Homemaker Home Health Services, the amount not to exceed $18,000. Lorain County Safe Harbor, Lorain for domestic violence services, amount not to exceed $12,500. And Neighborhood Alliance Elaria for emergency shelter services, and the amount not to exceed $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Under the engineer, authorize various applications to OPWC for various projects. Authorize the engineer to execute on behalf of the Board of Prosecutors' approval as to form. 1, J. Crary Road Bridge 0048 Replacement Project. Estimated project cost is $412,300. OPWC funding request is $366,947. Funding will be made from MVGT account engineering projects for the local share. 2, Overland and Middle Ridge Road Safety Improvement. Estimated cost is $313,633.41. OPWC funding request is $62,726.68. Project will be funded entirely with OPWC and federal funds. And then Baumhart Road resurfacing and safety improvements, North Ridge to State Route 113. Estimated project is $1,749,914. OPWC funding request is $724,918. And project will be funded entirely with OPWC state and federal funds.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, actually, it's kind of nice that we're working after going after all these dollars. Commissioner Kokoski and I serve on OPWC, so more dollars, more infrastructure repairs. Actually, when I was out there for a Monday evening talking to somebody, their big complaint was the infrastructure in the county. They were complaining about all the orange barrels at first, but then they said, well, at least it's getting better, so.
Right.
I always tell people when they see the orange barrels, that's a sign of progress. You shouldn't look at it in a negative way, that's a sign of progress.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You know, yesterday, I read an article in the Chronicle. You know, clearly you can't always believe what you read in the newspaper. But,
As Brad looks up.
He's like, what?
and that was my little dig for Brad for his morning humor. And I read the article on the ozone regulations and the strengthening of those, and you know how that's going to in fact impact manufacturing, which while we've seen a significant decline in Lorain County, was still a fairly heavily manufacturing community, and we hope to improve upon that as things continue to expand in Ohio. What I was struck with was we must be one of the most sickly counties in the whole state compared, given the data that the EPA is putting out. You have 305,000 residents, and 84,000 of them had cardiac problems. I find that data really hard to chew on. I don't know what they use as a matrix to figure that all out. And that's taking into account babies,
Right.
children.
A third of our population are children.
Okay. So even if we said we have 150,000 adults or young adults and older adults, that's still 1 in 2.
Yep. They may be talking about you not having a heart might be one of the cardiovascular issues.
Well, I know I don't have a heart, Commissioner. I realize that. Lots of people think that. But I found those numbers very disturbing with regard to what data they're utilizing to strengthen the regulations on the ozone. And so, you know, I'm gonna look into that and find out where they got those data sets from, and I suggest that we probably should, in the future, think about in the coming weeks weighing in on you know, a position on with regard to the EPA and tightening in those ozone regulations. You know, we're still in that e-check where our residents
Right.
still got to go do this e-check. It used to cost them money, then it became a no cost. I don't know if you've driven over there, but most newer vehicles, and most of them are newer now, they just plug it into the
Right.
little reader and off you go. I don't know why we're still doing that.
It's a requirement of federal, actually, NOACA does the air quality, the ozone is actually one of their functions that the federal government pays for to do all those, and we're not in attainment, but if you go about 15 miles to the west, Erie County, you don't have to do it. It must be a lot cleaner 15 miles to the west.
It's just interesting, and I think it's something that it's time that we probably should take a position on, and even we just write a letter of to the EPA indicating how we feel about them. I just don't like the statistical data.
And it doesn't make the county look good, or the entire area for all these counties up here, like, oh, you don't want to move there, you're not going to be very healthy, so.
84,000 plus people with cardiac problems in Lorain County out of 305,000 residents.
I know when I was a legislator in Columbus, I actually was one of the few to vote against renewing the e-check because I thought that it was very unfair to our residents to be tagged with the polluters of Ohio, as you said, when we had neighbors just a little bit, to the west of us, and unfortunately, everybody contributes in some way, but I didn't think it was fair to our residents.
Yeah. It was just an interesting statistic, and I don't like negativity coming on in the county, so
Right.
usually don't have much to say about that stuff, but I'm done for the morning. Thank you.
Mr. Innes?
Commissioners, I just have a couple of pending litigation cases to update with you.
Commissioners?
Yes, Commissioners.
Actually, I don't really have much to report, just the fair breakfast Monday, and hopefully I'll make it out there a couple more times for sure for the Combine Derby. I want to go see that, and my niece, Kimberly Kokoski, is going to be in the Demolition Derby again this year. It's like her 5th year in a row, so good luck to her, and in my report.
Yeah, great fair, great start to the fair. I'll be out there all afternoon today, so if you want to talk to a commissioner, there'll be one there to do that, I guess. Team Lorain County also had a task force meeting on Friday morning. We met about 10 of us, half business community, half government, looking at the issue in regards to Team Lorain County with the changes at Team NEO and the State of Ohio Jobs Ohio, directing Team Lorain County to start focusing on retention and expansion of existing businesses versus the old attraction principle, trying to work out a new makeup on how that's actually going to work when governments already do the retention and expansion as part of our requirements under the code. So nice discussion. Tom Ewing chairing the organization, and Kyle Rose from Poly One, and Brian Frederick, and Don Sheldon from EMH. It was a really good group. Nice discussion for about 4 hours, and Pink Peppercorn did a nice little breakfast for us, so that was nice too. But we're moving forward with Team Lorain County stuff. We have executive meeting this week, and then we'll have our board meeting a week after that, I believe. So.
And congratulations to Dan Klimas on his retirement or his resignation, retirement, whatever, from
Yeah, he
Team
didn't have
Lorain
to come.
County.
He didn't have to come back to any more meetings. Lucky him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So end of my report, Commissioner Lundy.
Had the opportunity to attend the 8th Annual Family Arts Fest held in Sheffield Village, and want to congratulate Mayor Hunter and his team over there for putting that together, along with Rick Fortney, who I went to high school with a couple of years ahead of me, but I know he's very involved with our arts community over at French Creek, so congratulations to them on a good event. Also, I guess I wanted to just point out something that I find of a great concern here in Lorain County. The Ohio State Fair, I believe, made a very responsible and wise decision this year when the fair board decided to ban any Confederate flags and associated merchandise at the state fair for sale. So I hope you understand why I was very disappointed this week to see that the Confederate flag and associated merchandise was being displayed and sold at the county fair this year. I did take my concern to the fair board and to board president Kim Myers. I told him I found the Confederate flag and merchandise offensive, and that it had no place at our county fair. The state fair banned such merchandise, and I believe that our county fair should do the same. He said that the board could look at my concern when it plans for the fair next year. I believe that the families of Lorain County value and embrace diversity. The Confederate flag is embraced by those who wish to divide us in this country and by those groups promoting hatred in our country. It is sad that it took the deaths of 9 churchgoers in South Carolina, and quite frankly, that it took this long for us to actually bring down the flag of hate and division in South Carolina and elsewhere in this country. What I really was upset about that day, when I first saw the vendors displaying the Confederate flag, was that I walked past one vendor's booth. And when I walked past his booth, he had an American flag that was displayed. And it was draped down so that when you're walking down the walkway, you actually had to walk around it. Well, when I returned later in the day, the American flag was gone. And it was replaced by a Confederate flag. Now, I find that to be highly offensive. That vendor obviously wanted to make some type of statement by trying to shove the Confederate flag of hatred in our face. And for those who say it's about heritage, you know, I grew up in the North, I worked in the South, I worked in Mississippi, I worked in Tennessee. For those who say it's about heritage, Ohio is not a southern state. We know that. So your argument is very shallow and hollow. The Confederate flag has no place in Ohio. It has no place in our county and at our county fair. So I call upon the fair board to do the right thing and to ban the sale of the Confederate flag at the fair. I believe our families value diversity. The Confederate flag promotes division, it promotes hatred, and it should be banned from our county fair. And I trust that the board members will do the right thing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Here, here.
Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Public comment?
Anybody wishing to address the board this morning? Seeing none, I move we go into executive session as outlined by the administrator. Jerry, did you have anything?
Yes.
And the Assistant County Prosecutor.
Second.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.